I want to cover in today's video a typical client who came to see me a couple of years ago, named Frank. Now, Frank was a normal client. He was married, a couple of children, a couple of grandchildren, and he'd sold his business a few years ago due to ill health issues. Nothing major, just had some high blood pressure and whatnot, and due to stress, and he felt it was about time he retired. So he'd retired a few years earlier. But when he came to see me, his mother had died several months before, leaving him around £500,000. So now he'd paid out an awful lot of inheritance tax on her death and was concerned that his estate was approximately 2.5 million, including some buy-to-let properties, and he wanted to know how best he could deal with it. Now, when Frank came to see us, he'd already got an existing financial advisor, and when he went to see his financial advisor, his advisor suggested that he look into having a life insurance, but when they came back with the quotes, Frank felt they were far too expensive because his high blood pressure really drove up the costs. So his IFA suggested that he see a solicitor to deal with the legal side of things, and he talked to the solicitor, but the solicitor didn't really understand what to do about the tax side, especially what to do about the buy-to-let properties, which Frank didn't really want to sell at the time. He wanted to keep it for an income stream. So Frank was stuck in the middle of these three separate firms, all trying to give him advice, and he was a bit disgruntled because he just felt, well, why can't I just get it all in one place? And that's when he came to see me. So when I spoke to Frank on the phone, I said to him, look, Frank, first of all, you need to understand what the issues are around inheritance tax. So I suggested that he watched our free video tutorials online, which he did. And then he came back to us and was happy to pay his initial fee for his consultation. And then we proceeded to move on to give him his advice. So in the end, Frank was really happy because he was able to get all of his advice in one place, because basically Bluebond deals with very professional firms who we work with on a regular basis. We put together the full strategy for him. He never had to go and see the lawyers or accountants, but the final strategy suited him down to the ground. The solutions that were put into place were a life insurance, but a temporary one, and therefore that didn't cost him anywhere near as much as his original advisor had asked him to do. We'd also put in some trusts and some investments, which gave him a lot of flexibility in his planning. And finally, the properties were all dealt with using a bespoke family investment company, which we put together with our recommended lawyers and accountants. So the end result was, providing Frank lives the 7 years, he will never have to pay any inheritance tax, and actually he ended up saving quite a lot of income tax as well. So he was delighted with the overall solution. The main point being that very rarely do any of our clients pay any inheritance tax at all once we've finished dealing with them.